Hello, and welcome to Minions and Misfits, the off-kilter actual play TTRPG podcast, where instead of playing the usual heroes, we play your archetypal monsters and NPCs. I am joined by my distinguished co-hosts, Cameron.
Hey.
Dylan.
Hello, hello.
And Samuel.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Tonight we'll be recording Chapter 2 of our Pearl's Field novella. But before we do, I have a couple of questions for y'all.
Of course.
Welcome to Question Corner.
Welcome to Question Corner. Insert flowery music here. Question 1. When we're playing a very character and story-focused TTRPG, and I want to know, do y'all ever, when you're thinking about your characters for your TTRPGs, do you ever make a playlist of songs that you associate with them?
No, but now that you mention that, I feel like I should go find some, minor key harpsichord music for Ephraim.
I've only ever done it when requested, so I've had some games in which I've had the DM be like, send me a playlist, however, doesn't have to be long, but just a couple of songs that give the vibe of your person. And I was like, okay, yeah.
I've done it for the villains. So I did Curse of Strahd, and we went with kind of a Andrew Ryan type Strahd.
Yes.
And it was a very interesting campaign that went really well, but I gave him basically different versions of Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Nice.
Kind of
What a vibe.
hardcore organ. And then I did Tiamat, and I kind of gave her a lot of the World of Warcraft music.
Ooh. So y'all are thinking of background music.
I set background music for my table when I'm DMing, but when I'm playing a character, not so much. Yeah.
I have asked my players in the past to give me background music, a just regular track and a battle track for their character.
Oh, sick.
But I'm
yeah.
thinking more just stuff with their story. I have playlists for so many of my TTRPG characters.
Oh, man.
Some that I only got to play a couple of times, where it's songs that I think of their backstory and their motivation. Dralshia, who I brought in for the one-shot, our last Christmas Life Day one-shot, she has such a big dadgum playlist, and I love it so much. I listen to it when I need a punch. Yes, when I need to pump myself up or punch.
Yeah, gotta pump yourself up to punch sometimes.
It's Rebecca's drywall punching playlist.
It's her Jawa cooking playlist.
Oh no.
Yeah, yes, both.
Yeah, a lot of my creative juices when it comes to thinking about the character stuff usually goes into less of their vibe and more of their relationships, I think.
Yeah, I have one of the songs on her playlist when she got really comfortable and close to characters in her party after being really walled off for a long time is Love Like You by Rebecca Sugar from Steven Universe.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's a good
you
song.
like
awesome.
me? You love me? What?
That's fun. Yeah, one of my favorite characters that I'm currently playing and really have ever played, honestly, is I have this old divorced middle-aged crisis dwarf that I'm playing. And he's been really fun to kind of get into the mind of. That's been a really interesting character, and he's just really eccentric in some areas, but super dad vibes, but with no kids.
The party is his kids.
Oh yeah, and also his caretaker simultaneously.
That's kids.
Yep. Yeah, characters are always fun to explore like that.
Speaking of exploring characters, my second question, segue here, is because we're only really playing a few people in this lovely town of Pearlsfield. I want us to do a little improv exercise and just make up, each of us, an NPC that lives in Pearlsfield. Who they are, what do they do, what's the rumor around town about them. Yeah.
Ooh.
And if we want to make it more of a structured thing, we can each give each other a profession for this character. Except for me, I already have one planned.
Of course you do.
I actually have one in mind.
Oh, you start thinking. I'm thinking.
All right. Well, so I was reading, and I think I'm going to make Niles a curate, which is because he's too young to be an official vicar.
Okay.
And so
yep.
he'd be serving under one, but in my mind, it's one of those things where he is advanced enough where he's not really given oversight, but he is just under an elder clergyman because that's the rules.
Yeah, you're an
and
intern.
But he does all the work, and so kind of like in Father Ted, where Father Ted is not technically the senior one there, but they just kind of work around the old guy. I want there to be like a really elderly, like, like borderline senile old man who's like the main clergy who really is kind of I guess a twist on the rabbi from Fiddler on the Roof, except the rabbi is very clever. I think this guy kind of needs to be out of it. Kind of like the rabbi from Fiddler on the Roof meets Creed from The Office.
I was gonna say, Mr.
really
Magoo.
What a mixture. What fantasy race is he? Don't say human. Something else.
What's the... he's got to be a gnome.
I was
Yes.
vibes.
The most like
Slowly
wrinkly gnome
climbing
ever.
up to the pulpit. His little like
Yeah.
stairs.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely parts where Niles like almost has to put him in a stroller, like take him on walks, like
I just imagine him like stepping up the steps to his pulpit one at a time, and then he just can't make the last, and he's like, Niles, dear. Niles just
Be
picks him
a
up
lamb
puts him
and
on the
help me
last
out.
one.
It's like Niles has to build some little steps like you get for when your dog is really old and you can't jump up on the bed.
His main responsibilities in the temple are caring for the poor, the sick, and taking the little stairs around for Father. What's his name?
his first name would be Phineas, but Niles would never call him Phineas.
No, he's
Father-
father or something. Whatever the title of his religion is.
Padre.
I like Father. Oh goodness, guys, help me out. Something
I'm
old
the worst-
fashioned.
I'm the worst at
Something
names, dude.
gnomish.
Something gnomish. All right.
My brain just goes to like Twinkle Toes.
I like Father.
Yeah.
Is that
Father
an insult,
Phineas
though?
Twinkle Toes. I don't know. It runs off the tongue so
Father
well. I think
Rascorn.
Father Phineas Twinkle Toes.
I like that. We'll do that then. Father Phineas Twinkle Toes.
What a vibe.
Fantastic. Who wants to do an NPC next?
Okay, I have an idea. This is one that I don't remember if I've actually said this idea on mic before or not, but I definitely told it to you guys. His name is Tanner. He's the town tanner, and he absolutely hates his job, hates his life, because tanning leather is disgusting. So his main hobby outside of work is just getting absolutely sloshed whenever possible so he can forget about how awful his job is.
Poor guy.
Tanner.
That's lovely.
What's his
I've
fantasy
had-
race?
His fantasy race, I feel like he would have to be a human just because of
Sad
what a sad
ones.
sack he is.
So
I
there's
see him
this
as
Or
having
he-
like an unkept, scraggly beard and like shoulder-length hair,
Uh-huh. And
or
bags
constant
under his eyes.
What if he was
constantly
like a
smells
dwarf?
like a latrine.
What if he was a dwarf? Because it's like he's carving the worst thing. Like he's not even a real blacksmith. Like there's that
this isn't
element
even
of
a
self-loathing
real
where
material to work with.
it's like I'm not supposed to be working with living things. Like
My parents
I
tried
don't
to.
know.
warn me.
I picture dwarves as having this sort of inbuilt self-respect that Tanner
Doesn't even
does not
allow them
have.
to get to
Does-
that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Tanner does not possess.
Humans don't have the self-preservation all the time that dwarves. Well, maybe not self-preservation, self-respect. That's the better.
So there's this really crusty Dwergar dark dwarf that's in town that no one knows where he came from. No one knows how long he's been here. He just seems to have been always here in the town. And every time someone asks him like what he was doing before he came here, it's always a different answer. You never quite know what's going on with him. But he's been hanging out, and he's just like the resident like old weird guy in town, but somehow knows a lot more about what's going on in town than most people.
Nice. He's the shady back alley guy that you go to for info
Yeah.
and a watch.
Yeah.
They always sell watches. Oh, but what's... Oh, we got Tanner's name. That's right, we do have Tanner's name. What's Krusty McGee's name?
What's Krusty McGee's name? What's a good like dark dwarf
Krusty
name?
McGee.
Krusty McGee is actually a pretty great name.
What about-
if we just call him Krusty?
He never told anyone his name.
No one knows. It's
When
a
they
new
ask,
name
he
every
says,
time.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
His middle name could be like Slitthroat, and he'll be like, "My name is Krusty Slitthroat McGee." What was that middle part? Nothing.
Just crusty. Just
Don't worry
crusty.
about it.
Just crusty. Want to buy a watch? Opens trench coat.
It's just a bunch of
Want to buy a
sundials.
sundial?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like isn't that a bit in Hercules?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But this is, I guess we're
Yeah,
kind
we'll
of
call
going
him
with an
Krusty.
Austen vibe, somewhere between Austen and medieval, like a bunch of historical webtoons these days. Mine. No one's ever seen this person.
Whoa.
They've just heard.
Air of
she's,
mystery.
she's like they think,
Maybe.
local legend, is the leader of the Thieves Guild,
Oh
which
snap.
doesn't operate here. It's why crime is so low in this area. Isn't because of the hard-working watch commander.
No.
It's because of the dove. The dove. The dove. The dove. She was born and raised in Pearlsfield, and though she chose a life of crime, she is still a noble criminal and keeps crime away from her beloved hometown, though they say she still lives here. Who she is, what she looks like. Some say she's a dwarf with a beard as long that goes past her feet. Some say she's just 3 gnomes in a trench coat. No one knows. But they just
But
know
her
she goes
impact
by the
lasts
dove.
far and wide.
And her
It's just mother.
insignia, her signal, is a single little white dove feather.
Ooh. Little calling card.
3 gnomes in a trench coat can cast a long shadow.
I thought you were going to
All
say
right, so
a
we
lot
got-
of spells, but
We got Krusty. We got the dove. We got Father Phineas.
Phineas Twinkledove.
Yes. And we have Tanner.
And Tanner, no last name given.
No last name needed.
Literally, he was not given a last name.
His occupation and his name are the same. He was given both at the same time.
And with
Yeah,
that,
no wonder he's so miserable.
with our town expanded, let's dive into Chapter 2.
Yay.
Chapter 2. Humble and Eager. Alright, so where we last left off,
Last left off.
Too many t's. I can narrate, I promise. Where we last left off, we were at the epistolary phase. A phase where our characters write letters, or epistles, if you will. It's just a fancy word for letters. So each player is going to have the chance to send 2 letters, a max of 2, from, it can be any combination of from their main character or their controlled connection. As the facilitator, I can do as many as I want. You can't tell me what to do.
Cheating.
Except the rules do, so that's what they say.
You'll just excuse us if you hear a lot of like pen scratching because we're not reading the letters; we're just writing them.
Yeah.
It's very good for an audio format.
Yeah, it's a brief ASMR diversion.
Oh, you made it weird.
ASMR's not that weird.
The sounds of
It can, not necessarily.
quill on
It depends
vellum.
on what like subgenre you're jumping into. You know, there's some weird, there's some not.
You've heard of lo-fi beats to work and or study to. Get ready for
Yeah.
work and or study to lo-fi beats.
Yeah, someone make a remix.
It's just pencil scratching, typety typing. But yes, our players have in fact had time to think about their letters so they could be fancy and write them out ahead of time if they wanted to.
Ho ho.
So with that in mind, does anyone want to start off our epistolary phase?
I
And
would
if
love to
I
start.
didn't explain, at least for our listeners, so they will need to say who the letter is from, who it's to, and then the contents. They might have written it ahead of time, they might improv it, and then if necessary, we may have a flashback or a little scenelet, a small scene.
I would
You can
love
also
to
consider
start.
describing how the letter arrives, or at least is delivered.
Yeah. So mine is from our dear, well, not our dear. I guess it is our, but mine and Niles's lovely Aunt Agatha, which I don't believe we've met yet. So this is kind of her introduction, which I think is a great way to start her here, to our mother, who we have met, lovely little Prudence, making her way around the party, getting rumors spread about her in the last phase. And this letter finds itself on her doorstep in the midst of this scandal that was running around. And it says, "My dearest Prudence, I trust this letter finds you swimming in a sea of gossip. Your ears filled with the melodious whispers of society's latest scandal. Oh, how I envy the attention you must be garnering, though I must admit it is not without a certain degree of amusement that I watch you squirm under the weight of your newfound infamy. It seems the delicate facade you've so carefully crafted is finally beginning to crack, revealing the truth that lies beneath, a truth that I, your ever-observant sister, have long suspected. For while you may prance about with all the airs of a genteel lady, it is clear to those with discerning eyes that you are not but a wolf in sheep's clothing, indulging in the pleasures best left to the baser sort. But fear not, dear sister, for I am not one to revel in the misfortunes of others. Well, at least not usually. Despite your many shortcomings, I must confess a certain begrudging affection for you, if only for the endless entertainment your antics provide. And so I extend to you my sincerest condolences for the scandal that now threatens to engulf you, though I cannot help but find a certain poetic justice in your downfall. As for myself, I find that I am once again embroiled in a most amusing predicament, one that I'm sure will provide fodder for the gossip mongers for the weeks to come. But fear not, Prudence dear, for unlike you, I wear my scandals as a badge of honor, daring society to judge me as it will. For after all, what is life without a little excitement? But alas, I must bid you adieu, dear sister, and offer you a word of advice in closing. Embrace your scandal with all the grace and dignity you can muster, for in the end, it is our flaws that makes us truly interesting. Yours in deepest amusement, Agatha."
Incredible.
I hate her
That was
already.
really-
I know, right?
Her.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
So this arrives, I would guess, a couple weeks after the party, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as soon as that scandal starts making its way around town, that she, I believe that the rumor was that she was a lush, then, yeah, that letter, it just immediately shows up at the door.
And there's also
Almost
a
too
rumor about
soon.
her getting a
Yeah.
spat with a visiting baron.
Oh, yeah.
So
All sorts of fun scandals
double
going around.
trouble.
Ooh, speaking of that, I have a letter to follow that one up with.
Ooh.
So this one is a letter to the daughter of Sir... What was his first name?
Baron
Mr.
Leapfrog. I don't think we
Leapfrog?
got a first name.
No, he's Baron.
Baron Barry Bon Leapfrog. But this is to his daughter, Tiana Leapfrog, from Niles. Tiana Leapfrog, allow me to extend my sincerest apologies for my mother's inconsiderate and unacceptable behavior toward your father. I am quite certain that she was experiencing an acute and temporary form of insanity that has since passed. It is the hope of my dear mother, and indeed myself, that you and your delightful family visit us at Pearlsfields. Until then, I hope that we two distinguished historical families can consider each other friends, not enemies. Yours sincerely, Reverend Niles Wellington IV.
Nice. Cam, do you have a letter you're ready to
I just wish
send?
I wish my improv was as good as my writing, so I could actually talk like this
I
in
do.
character.
Right? Mine is a letter from Ephraim to his best buddy, Niles, which would arrive to him probably shortly after the party in a real fancy little, like, box. Like, for some reason, the letter arrives in a box, and it opens, and the letter is sealed with, like, gold wax with, like, a fancy E-shaped seal on it.
I feel like he got really excited to open the letter. Like, I never get mail. And then he opens like,
Freaking Ephraim.
Question for you, Sam. Does Niles live in the Worthington Estates, or does he live in, like, a parsonage?
I'd imagine that he...
If there's a father still, maybe he's still at home.
If
I
there's
feel
a
like
what? If
Mumsy
there's
would have
what?
said, stay at home until the parsonage is still taken by Father Twinkletoes.
I
I
feel,
feel like you're almost Father Twinkletoes, like, caretaker, though, at this point. Like,
yeah, I feel like he's almost taken an opportunity to get away from home. And, like, he enjoys his liberty be living in the parsonage. Because he is, like, taking care of Father Twinkletoes. But, like, it's a human-sized parsonage. And Father Twinkletoes is a dwarf. And so it's like, he
Extra
only
small
needs...
gnome.
Like, one bedroom and one bathroom is, like, way more than enough than Father Twinkletoes needs. So it's almost like taking care of, like, a hamster. Like, it's like he's just with oversized.
Small dog. That's a person.
He's just an oversized French bulldog where you just kind of have to roll him over to bed every night.
Like one sometimes.
Exactly. Oh,
Bring my lotion.
He calls Niles Miles, and no matter how many times he's corrected, he never changes.
He's like, that's nice, Miles.
That's a good boy, Miles.
My name is Niles. That's not a real name.
So what
You
does this
just
letter,
made that up.
What does this letter say when he opens it? When does it arrive, though, also, as we work out our timeline here?
It arrives like a week after Ephraim and Georgiana and Frederick show back up in town, so about like a week after the party. And says, "Dearest Niles, I understand that mine and Georgiana's presence at the party last week was rather a surprise to you, and I hope that you haven't come to think that we did it on purpose to perhaps, I don't know, upset you or needle you in some way. Let it be said that I'm ready to let bygones be bygones if you're ready to let bygones be bygones.
Well pointed.
May we meet again around town. Perhaps we can say soon we'll have a nice conversation and set all of these troubled waters behind us. Yours, Ephraim."
Now that
New address, who dis?
Yeah. New mailbox,
That is
who dis?
extremely interesting because I have a letter from Frederick to Niles regarding the Ephraim
my
controversy.
Oh boy.
Should I do that now, or did you have one you wanted to insert first, or dear DM?
I am going to. Do I have tokens actually? I can't remember. I should have looked at that. That was very specific. Do I have tokens, or do I get to just do things? I think I just have tokens. Or I mean, just do things. Okay, I'm done mumbling. I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to say, if you think it still fits, that at least these 2 letters are going to be sent the next day after the party, if that's all right with y'all.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Is that all right with you, Cam?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Tell us the letter.
Alrighty. This letter arrives, and when you open it up, it's very clear that it was like written and then set down and then written more. Like there's 2 very distinctive different inks being used on there.
Who writes in blue and red?
Yeah, but what is this? It says, "Niles, I trust this letter finds you in the solace of your sacred abode, surrounded by the hallowed echoes of your pious devotions. It has come to my attention that recent events have weighed heavily upon your conscience, and I take up my quill to assuage your concerns and offer you some much-needed brotherly solace in these troubled times. First, let us address the elephant in the room of my dear friend Ephraim. I know it's true that the winds of discord have blown between the 2 of you, stirring up a tempest of uncertainty and doubt, and yet in the midst of this tumult, let us not lose sight of the steadfast anchor that binds us together, our unwavering faith in the inherent goodness of our fellow man. Though Ephraim may have strayed from the path of righteousness, I have seen firsthand the kindness that resides in this man's heart, and I remain confident that his redemption was within grasp, should he but reach out and seize it, and I believe it is within your heart to forgive him." And then you see the new ink pops up. Also, in matters of worldly nature, I am thrilled to have introduced you, dear brother, to my recent fiancée, a woman of unparalleled grace and beauty. She possesses a spirit as radiant as the morning sun and a bank account even deeper. I have found not only a companion but a kindred soul, a partner with whom to navigate the tumultuous waters of life's vicissitudes. And with this engagement comes the promise of a brighter future, one filled with hope and possibility. Our fortunes, languished in the shadow of uncertainty for so long, are now poised to soar to dizzying heights, propelled ever upward by the winds of love and fortune. So, dear brother, let's cast aside our worries and embrace the blessings that surround us, for in the end it is always love that conquers all, and the faith that lights our way to the darkest of nights. Yours in brotherly affection, Frederick.
Dang. Dang. Well, first, how did Niles respond when he opened the second letter?
I feel like when he read the word pious abode, that is like the cue for Father Twinklefoot to like fart. It's like,
Miles, can you bring...
I feel like it's with the letter, it's one of those things where he like tries to write back a congratulatory letter, but every time he's like, this comes off as too passive aggressive, or this is lying, which is technically against my religion, and so he just puts off writing it and just ends up not writing a response.
This one comes off too passive aggressive. This one comes off too active aggressive. This one comes off too aggressively passive.
This one's too supportive. This one's not supportive enough.
Dylan, when did Frederick write the second half of that letter?
He wrote it after. So the first half he had already written before coming back to town, and then after the party that we had, he came back, and I feel like he wrote that while partially drunk after the party.
While still buzzed at his writing desk, he scribbled the last half of that letter and folded it up, and it was only then that he caught the whiff of a floral perfume, a flower you can't quite place.
Oh, that's
and
lovely.
saw a little folded letter sat nicely on his desk.
What's this?
Upon grabbing it, you see clearly in Georgiana's handwriting, "My dear Freddie."
Oh, she calls me Freddy.
Let me get into her accent. Let's see here. British. In all the hustle and bustle of last night's festivities, I believe I forgot to tell you something very important. Thank you. It was such a relief to know the plans for our arrival and reception were in your hands. I have never had such a smooth trip and such a delightful party to arrive at. I have a truly capable and dependable fiancé. Now I am afraid I must make another request of you. Your dear mother intends to give me a grand tour of the manor, starting quite early, and I fear that she intends to keep me busy with the tour all day. That will leave me with little time to see you, except just before dawn. I know I can depend on meeting you in the East Garden to watch the sunrise. Yours, Georgiana.
And I said, "Oh, that's lovely," and then I pass out.
Before you pass out, you turn to pass out and you knock a second letter.
Oh my god, there's so many letters on my desk.
When you bend down to pick it up, it is a simple piece of parchment, sealed with a simple wax seal pressed into which is a small white feather.
It can't be the dove. I rip it open.
It has very little on it. It simply says, "Arrive at the drop point just before dawn. Alone."
Every time with the conflicting messages and everything else to go on. Oh man.
Anyone else have letters they want to send?
I'm torn between two. In my mind, Niles writes another follow-up letter to Lady Leapfrog, but I also want to write a letter from Vlad de Baguette.
Go with Vlad.
Which one. Vlad?
Yeah, let's hear from Vlad.
All right. It's to Ephraim. It's written like very hastily and in a manner. I mean, we're not great writers here, so we're already kind of writing in faux fancy. But this is even more faux fancy. And so it basically says, "Ahem, my dearest."
It says ahem.
It's written out. Yeah.
It was dictated.
Every little sound that came out. Chair creaks.
Jostling of the microphone.
No, don't write that. Dear Ephraim, and like it's several different attempts to spell the name Ephraim.
Various spellings.
I hope you do not mind, but I saw it fit to visit my good friend E. He just puts the E. As he visits Prettsfield, crossed out. Pearlsville, crossed out. Pearlsfield.
Ah, man. Remember the times before erasers?
Words are hard for me sometimes, but I hope you know that I am forever your friend. And friend is spelled incorrectly.
Tweez.
No, FR, friendship, like love and friendship, where it's spelled incorrectly. I hope you know some delicious crossed out beautiful women.
I have so many questions about this person already.
Who had loved you.
Where on earth are they from?
I think we have our breakout character already.
who I would love to eat. And then you see like an M is like scribbled really in between the two words to and eat. To meet. And like the A is overcorrected into an E. And then you see there's like a sprinkle of red liquid on the paper. Signed Vlad de Baguette. P.S. That is just juice.
Not blood.
It is not blood, it is simply juice. Period. Cherry juice.
Tomato juice.
Shelly. Some Shelly juice.
I had a lunch with Denethor.
XO.
It got sloppy.
XO Vlad de Baguette.
Not the vampire.
In parentheses, not a vampire.
Parentheses, not a
Oh, no.
vampire.
XO, the very human Vlad de Baguette.
All right.
So that's Transylvanian
And,
French, is that right?
Something like that.
My second letter will be from.
No, I know. I need to know your response to seeing this letter. Don't try to move past that.
That's a question.
Ephraim.
Does it arrive like the night that he's there? Like Vlad's been tracking his movements, or does it arrive later?
It arrives a little bit later. It's like you hear kind of a small pecking at the door.
Amount of the right amount of later.
You hear pecking at the door, and you open it, and a crow's sitting on the floor, like standing on the floor on the ground with a letter in its
Beak.
talons.
Oh, talons.
No, in its talons. And it just looks at you, and just goes, caw, and flies off.
Buttered sounds.
Ephraim's like, I would know that call anywhere. And he opens the letter up, and he just was like smirking and shaking his head the whole time while he's reading it. Oh, Vlad, you're incorrigible. And like folds it back gently and like sets it aside. My second letter is going to be from Frederick's bestie in the whole wide worldy, John Willoughby.
Yes.
Oh, man.
You received the letter. It seems a little bit worse for wear, like it might have taken a fall in the mud before it reached the post box. And opening the letter up, you see what can only be described as drunken handwriting.
Excellent.
Everything is scribbled. There are smears, and it reads as follows. My dear Frederick, you're the best friend in the entire world.
I love you.
I just wanted to say that the wine and ale that you provided were top notch.
Just all caps.
And I was so excited to meet your lovely fiance, Georgiana.
There's like various G-E's or J-E's or
Yeah.
There's a Q in there just because.
Yeah. And I cannot wait until the wedding reception.
Not the wedding.
Yours truly, John Willa, and it just cuts off as if he fell asleep before he could finish spelling his last name.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Who's the lush now?
Chef's kiss. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Let's see.
Petition to make the rest of this podcast just letters back and forth between characters.
The rest of the story is told in letters. I think. Do I want to send some more letters, or do I want to save them for later?
There's a second epistolary phase before the upkeep of the other one, right?
There is. Let me save these then, because I feel like we have a lot to work with now.
Yeah, that's a lot, especially for a listener to like figure out, because that's a lot to process.
We're gonna untangle it in this next chapter phase with a visitation chapter. So TTRPGs are storytelling games. You can do whatever the heck you want with them. But the beautiful thing about the system, and about any system, is providing tools. And one tool for the chapter phase is the visitation chapter. Different forms of roleplay sections. In the visitation chapter, these are structured in a way that allows for a series of short scenes between characters. They provide
such
an
as
opportunity.
the various meetups we just set up.
Precisely. An opportunity for intimate conversations and for characters to take action outside of the public eye. Visit for the purpose of this chapter is interpreted broadly. It may indeed be attendance at another's house, but it could also be an arrangement to meet somewhere by mutual agreement.
Aw.
Like at dawn by the drop point?
Yes, or at dawn in the garden.
Not that one. I'm a bad fiance. I got debts to pay.
So we have several.
Got males to black.
I think that since it was the most time sensitive, perhaps we should start with what our dearest Frederick T. Worthington III does.
Dawn.
What happens?
So when I read both letters, I have a mild crisis and then immediately cast aside my fiance because I have to do these. This is more important. I got to do this. And then I have a very sleepless night. And then, like, as soon as I start to rest my eyes, the sun peeks through the window, and I'm like, well, guess we gotta go. And I run over to the drop point.
Well, let's get this bread.
In my finest attire.
What is the drop point?
I feel like it's by the old abandoned mine in town.
Pearlsfield is not at all known for its mines.
Exactly, they don't have any anymore.
Was like, there's gotta be something.
There's gotta be something.
And there wasn't.
Our one dwarf in town, I feel like Krusty did that at some point just because he was bored. But then he's like, there's literally nothing in this rock.
All like the haunted mines and all those starter towns are always like really big and their own dungeon. I kind of want this mine to just be like 20 feet deep.
Yeah, it's like a cave, and they're like, nah.
After about 20 feet, they figured, nah.
Yeah, they dug for like 3 days and then got bored. It's just like, there's probably nothing in there.
Talk about taking it for granted. Am I right?
No.
It has a sign that says "Keep out" or "Don't." We don't care.
It's like one of those Minecraft things where there's 6 pillars and like a little tumbler in the middle, and that's it.
So that is where you go to meet the dove in your finest attire. You arrive at the drop point, and in the mine, dark and unlit, just with the barest beginning of sun rays beginning to creep in out from the shadows, a cloaked figure approaches. Yes, Sam, what's up?
Can you please have like a sound signal to tell the dove you're there?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a bird call that we set up before.
Oh, you know what it is though.
A little whistle.
No. Like
no, absolutely. Doves are not native to this land.
Doves are not native to anywhere. They're a bred species. Yeah,
they're a magical
species. They're a feral
species.
animal like dogs. We bred doves, or is that pigeons? I'm thinking about pigeons.
I feel like that's pigeons.
They're so
That's
similar.
pigeons.
They're like the same thing.
That's not true at all. maybe. Yeah, I feel like I get to the little thing and I just go.
And then out of the shadow approaches the cloaked figure.
I have a lot of trepidation. Have I worked with a dove before in any shady dealings?
Somehow you owe them money. How do you owe them money?
Of course, yeah.
What happened?
Well, you know, sometimes you overspend on investments and then they go bottom up or belly up, and then you have to find a way to deal with it. And so you reach out to some of your more unsavory contacts and you get a little loan real quick. And sometimes that loan has tremendous amounts of interest. And then you just keep owing the money, and then you got to figure it out. And then you just keep doing that for a while, and then you're stuck in a vicious cycle.
Yeah. So you just owe them. It's just a classic predatory loan, just a loan shark situation.
So I've got like a bag of money, and I've got a nice fancy dagger that I don't know if it is actually decorative or a real dagger, but I've got it just in case, and it makes me feel better.
Sometimes you get sharked at pool by the same person 4 times in a row.
But, you know, it's hard to, like, I'd already exhausted, because I can't go to a reputable, like, bank, because then they'll know I'm broke. Yeah. And I can't have that go around town, so I have to go to a little more unsavory sources.
Yeah. The cloaked figure approaches from the shadow. Very impressive that you didn't notice her before, because the cloak is white.
That's quite the outfit.
And their face is not visible in the shadow of the cloak.
I try and put on a brave face and a little tough guy exterior, and I'm like, well, Dove, I've got the goods. If you've got the hands to take it, how does this work?
Slowly, her arm stretches out, and even her hand is just gloved with white, with gold claws on each fingertip. And she holds out her hand.
God, your aesthetic is always so good. I have to take notes sometime. I included a little extra. You'll notice. I hope this improves our. I don't know if I'd call this a relationship, but our mutually beneficial arrangement.
You're like a civilian on their first
Oh, absolutely.
run
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You're just talking way too much.
She slowly pulls the drawstring of the bag and reaches a gloved hand. I don't know.
Clawed gloved hand. Yes, all of the above.
And she pulls out a single piece of gold and looks it over on either side, holding it between her fingers. She drops it back in, weighs the bag, cinches it, and tucks it into her cloak and says, "Oh, Frederick, you're not going to pay off your debt if this is all that you can give me.
Things are turning around.
Like this, but that little fiancé of yours."
Yeah, things are turning around. It's going to be a lot. Dude, do you know how rich that family is? I'm going to be fine. I'll get your money soon.
That would be good.
I just need a couple more months, okay?
I'm going to need
it's still
double
working.
this payment next month.
Next month, I can do it in 2.
Next month, Frederick. Or maybe I'll pay a little visit to that pretty little fiancé of yours.
No, I guess that doesn't have to benefit you. It just has to scare me. Okay. Yep. No, okay. Next month. Got it. I'll make do.
Good luck with the wedding.
It's like, why couldn't she just go visit Aunt Agatha?
Aunt Agatha. Please.
Oh no, not Aunt Agatha.
Oh, how terrible.
Please stop.
Yeah, why do they always threatens the one I actually love?
All right. 1 month, double the payment. I can make that work.
You will make it work, Frederick.
Yeah, I guess I don't really have a choice, do
believe
I?
in you.
Oh, thanks. That means a lot, actually.
And she fades back into the shadows.
Yeah. And yeah, as soon as she leaves, I just kind of all the stress hits at once, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Whew. All right, 1 month. We could maybe move the wedding up. I could talk to her father about, especially arranging. There's options. We can figure something. We'll be fine. We'll figure something out. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And I look see where the sun is in the sky, and then I run over as fast as I can to attempt to meet my fiance, though maybe not for a selfless reason.
I think when you arrive at the garden, she's not there.
Mother's already gotten her talons in her. Talons all around today. All right, well, at least they'll be busy and occupied. I'll go work on this while no one else is looking.
Does someone else have a scene that they want to propose next? If not, I have one that is connected, but I also want to open it up to y'all.
I have what I want to
Vlad
do,
meeting?
but it doesn't have to happen yet. So.
We could do Vlad meeting Ephraim upon his arrival.
Absolutely, yes, please.
Yeah, let's do.
We definitely need to do that.
You get another letter kind of on the day of his arrival being like, it is so good to be arriving in the Pearl Place. And he kind of indicates where he wants to meet. Where in this place, Rebecca, would a totally human, not vampire person want to meet? Just not at daytime, because daytime's not their thing.
The sun's bright.
The Goat's Head is the largest and most well-established tavern. It's not really a place for gentlemen outside of community events, though.
I feel like that's a bit too public. Like he wants
He'd
to kind of
probably
be
go to
somebody.
wherever he's staying.
Okay.
Yeah. Which would probably be in the Worthington Manor
Yeah, we have a guest wing.
or estate.
Yeah, we have a guest wing.
I imagine both he and Georgiana are staying in the other wing.
I don't know. I feel like he's so close with Ephraim. I feel like what's his
Maybe
name?
he just shows up at Ephraim's house expecting to stay there.
Yeah. I feel like I think that's more accurate to Vlad than. Cause I feel like Niles, especially with Niles being kind of clericy, he'd be definitely get bad vibes from Vlad, and Vlad would not like being in that home.
That is a question, actually, because Ephraim's not from Pearlsfield, but he has money now. Does he own a nice house in Pearlsfield?
Yeah, I think he would have purchased a not like huge house, but a nice house.
That's a reputable place.
Yeah. In one of the in the well-to-do part of town.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when Vlad shows up, Ephraim is still in the process of having things moved into the house.
Yeah, I like
There's
that.
just like some half-orc movers, just like a couch in one arm and like an end table and like a like half of a bed frame in the other arm, just moving things.
Their slogan is
I like-
half orc, half human, all quality service.
I like the idea that there's like Vlad has his own Renfield type. It's like this little decrepit man who always goes before him everywhere he goes, and so each year kind of a feeble knock on the door after like proper calling hours.
You hear like a feeble knock at the door, and then you hear in a like a thick French accent, "No, you have to knock louder than that, see?" And then you just hear a louder, like impatient knock at the door.
Oh, sorry, master.
What are you doing?
Does anyone else want to be the smaller Frenchman?
I'll be the small one.
Oh no, you have to knock louder. You are knocking too quietly.
Is it like this? And I kind of throw my whole body into the door.
Yes. Yes, Pierre. Against the door. Against the door.
Yes,
And by the time the door's opening, he just like
Has he been slamming Pierre's body?
Vlad is just like he's just slamming Pierre against the door. And as soon as you open the door, they both just stop and Vlad's like, "Thank you for knocking Pierre."
Please don't
He's like holding
Monsieur.
Pierre by the back of his shirt.
Yes.
I just stare and freeze at you, and then I'm like, I am pleased to introduce Monsieur Vlad, my grandfather. Wait, he's my grandson. That was our story. Yes.
No, master.
Ah, Pierre, so good to see you. Vlad.
He is tiny. Get the bags.
I wasn't.
Fetch the bags.
As you wish, as you wish.
I must say, I wasn't expecting you so soon.
Well, you know what they say about us humans. We travel quickly, and when we arrive, we're really here.
That is what they say.
Yes, I believe I have heard them say that.
Silence! And not you, Pierre. Quiet, I will fetch the vache. So stupid.
He just cowers in the corner.
Is this your home? It is so wooden. It is wooden.
What
It is,
I believe
Yes.
the word is rustic, master.
yes, that one. There is a place where I come from, a human country, where they have a shop called Home Goods. This gives Home Goods vibes.
Can you say that again, master? I just love hearing you say that phrase.
Home Goods vibes.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you, Vlad. I appreciate hearing that from a good friend.
Yes, it's that we are friends. You and me, a man and another man. Wait, you're not
Tell
a man.
me-
What are you?
He's a man.
Half
He's a
elf.
man.
We are all men here, except for him. He is half elf. The rest of us are fully human.
I'm half
Blood and
gnome on
all.
my grandmother's side.
Oh, silence. Now tell me,
Apologies.
Shut up.
tell me, what do you do for how you say fun around here?
Well, I think I still have some choice leftovers from the party last night. Or what? How long after the party is Vlad showing
I'd
up?
say this is like a week.
Okay. I still have some leftover wine and ale from the party about a week ago. It's quality stuff if you're interested.
I'm so sorry. My stomach is giving me issues. Do you have a how you say doctor in town? But preferably a lonely and unpopular doctor who I could see about my stomach issues.
Or perhaps
Well, there's the lonely and unpopular town drunk, but I don't know if we have a lonely and unpopular doctor. He's
perhaps a strange hermit that has some herbs.
Or some especially vulnerable young people with nice and fresh ideas.
No social support.
Need a new friend, new person in town to say hello to?
Nothing is not beneficial to my friends.
Well, the public house is always where a lot of the young people meet up.
I will
what
go
did they do
scout
next?
and find a good person for you, man.
Yes, go. Kind of like shuffles you at the door. Now, do you have a room for me to stay on, preferably on the ground floor? Maybe even, how you say, the basement?
Why, yes, I do believe this house has a basement. We haven't put anything down there yet. If you'd like, you're welcome to stay here.
Oh, brilliant. He opens the door back up. Pierre, unload my things.
Do you want me to scout or unload first, master?
Both,
Okay.
right now.
And you see, like, he whistles a little too, and you see 12 rats bring all your stuff into the room.
They're very large rats.
No, they're not even large rats. They're just like
They're like ants. They carry more than their weight.
Yeah.
right, like in a Looney Tunes cartoon where there's a watermelon just moving across the ground, and you pick it up, and there's a single ant.
I was thinking it was like the sewer rats that everyone fights at level 1.
Yes.
Ephraim
They're
just
they're just friends.
Ephraim just sort of blasely just watches the rats just move all of this stuff through the door. And he's like, "Huh. Well, I'm going out for the evening. You're more than welcome to make yourself at home. You and your friends."
Oui, but you have not told me. Where are you going?
Oh, I just have to go meet up with another old friend of mine.
Is this friend lonely?
Probably. But he would also be missed.
Oh. Do you know of anybody who is, how you say, would not be missed?
Well, like I said, there's the town leather worker, but
Are we going to introduce
know if-
and kill this character in the same session?
I don't know if you would want to get within, say, 20 feet of him. He smells peculiar.
Oh, that's just true. Oh, look over there!
You
Kinda
hear a
points
small
over to
you hear
the-
a small voice out from the distance.
Does he smell garlicky?
Kind of yells at him in a foreign language. He points over, and there's someone walking by, just having a late night stroll. Who is it, Rebecca? Not someone we know from the story.
Oh man. It is it's a couple. No, it needs to be one person.
No, make
Yeah.
it a couple. I have an idea.
Okay, it's a couple out on a late night stroll. Also, this home, I think you said, was in town. So
Yeah.
it's on a street, and things are fairly quiet. The lamps are lit, but most people are home by now. But yeah, it's this couple. It's a tall, it's a tall, furball gentleman
Ooh.
in a top hat and a suit coat and no pants because he's a furball.
Ideal.
Disgusting.
And he is walking with a dwarven woman who has curly mutton chops.
Perfect. Pierre accidentally stumbles into one of them, and as he's falling, kind of like twists his own leg, like very unnaturally, and says,
Oh no! Help! I can't help. It's broken. Help me! Help!
Oh no!
Please!
Oh, look, we've got to help this person.
Help.
Would you, please, don't you know the doctor? And the furball says, yes, I do.
I am a doctor. I'm a licensed doctor. My name is
fantastic.
Dr. Leo Schaffhausen. And he kind of waves them into the
Help.
house. Come into this room with the
I
locking door.
can't walk. My leg.
Oh, bring him in. He'll need your help. Come.
Yes, someone carry me,
The
please.
dwarf just heaves him up and tosses him over her shoulder, like
You just hear more bones cracking.
Oh,
And as they go into the
you're
house,
supposed to stabilize the neck.
Vlad just turns towards
Mr. Ephraim. A pleasure to see you.
Vlad just turns towards Ephraim and just goes, yes, one last question. Where is the Windex? Do you have a Clorox? Cleaning supplies?
Bleach.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
I don't know if they've been unpacked yet, but I'm sure Pierre can find them.
I can
perfect.
find those. Just fix my leg and I'll be good as rain. You go enjoy your time out. We'll be fine.
Okay, and this door locks, yes?
Of course.
Oh,
In
perfect.
this part of town?
Perfect.
Ephraim sort of stops it, and He like stops Vlad for a second as the other three go into the house. Has Peter been taking acting lessons?
Oh, yes, he's involved in the community theater where we are. He was in, how you say, Paris of Penzance before he left. He is very talented. Unfortunately, he is a bass, which means very few roles.
He was the understudy for Annie, but it did not go well.
It was a hard knock performance, if you know what I mean.
Ephraim's just like, yes, shame. And then he just continues on along his way.
Fantastic.
That
And the
went
door
off the
closes
rails
it.
so fast.
You just hear in the background a, like,
This leads great into something I realized
Into what,
I
pray
forgot.
tell?
Lead into something.
How could this possibly lead into anything?
So Ephraim is supposed to start with a rumor about his misdeeds and an extra
that's
negative
right.
tag.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Cam, you can go ahead and add bad connections, I think is what it's called.
Well,
Unfortunate
if
connections.
Vlad's anything,
Unfortunate
he's an unfortunate
connections.
connection.
And we'll figure out the rumor as we go.
Okay.
I'm going to rewind time for the next scene.
can the rumor be that Vlad might be a werewolf?
Next rumor phase, which is after this chapter phase, I believe. No, next is reputation, and then epistolary, and then we'll have another rumor phase next time. But the rumor about that Ephraim is the prince of werewolves, and Vlad is his werewolf.
He's
Right.
new in town.
Now that I'm done being confused, rewinding time back to the morning after the party, as the dawn sun rises over the east garden of the Worthington estate. Georgiana sits alone
Aww.
for some time until she finally stands up, looks at the door, and then takes a walk.
And I feel bad.
Niles, how do you start your mornings?
He wakes up at the butt crack of dawn, and like he starts by making breakfast for Father Phineas, and then starts by waking Father Phineas up and like giving him his daily sponge bath.
Miles,
dressing
I
Father-
need to be bathed.
I know. I know.
Dylan plays
And he
all
just-
the little old men in this.
In my heart, I'm a little old man.
I imagine that Father Phineas is like super duper British though,
Let's see.
like super uppity British. Like, oh, hello.
I can do
of course,
that,
Niles. Yes.
Miles,
Yes.
I must be bathed.
I know. Here comes the sponge. Here.
It's cold, Miles. Heat it up.
It has been heated up.
It's so cold.
You're just so old.
What did you say, son?
Nothing. I just said that it does feel cold. You're 100% right.
Okay, Miles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Knock, knock, knock.
I'm not decent.
Yes. No. One moment, please. One moment. And he kind of
He just throws a sheet over him.
Just the whole body, yeah.
he swaddles up Father Phineas and just puts him back in his bed.
He's like, he opens the door, he's holding him like a baby.
Bottle in mouth.
It's actually a pipe. Like instead of giving him a bottle, he just gives him a pipe.
Yeah, I just
like,
stick my
here you go,
tobacco pipe
smoke.
in.
There you
Yeah,
go. And he has like his sleeves. He basically looks like a butler right now because he's like dressed for the day, but his sleeves are rolled up, and his undercoat is like half covered in water because he's been sponge bathing a small old gnome. And like his hair is a bit unkempt because he's just been like doing all the chores all morning. Anyway, he opens the door like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Just as you crack the door, you immediately take a deep breath as perfume hits your nose. And when you finish opening it, there before you is the lovely Georgiana. Her hair
Yes, how can I help? Good morning.
All Father bless you.
her
Thank
hair
you.
is braided around her head. Her bangs are neat. And she has around her shoulders this lovely shawl made of
Yes.
pearlescent cotton, Pearlsfield cotton, that is embroidered with just an intricate design. And she smiles at you and says, "Oh, good morning. I hope I'm not here too early."
Oh, not at all. And he has like an apron on that has like flour on it, and he kind of like holds his wrist out and kind of like tries to get it under the sun to like see what time it is on the sundial. It is. Well, it is a little bit early, but that's fine. It's fine. That's early. Come in, please. Come in.
What a pleasure to have my morning routine so lovelily interrupted.
No, you get back in bed. Get back in bed.
I can't. You've wrapped me so tightly I can't move.
I'll be right back. And you just like after a few moments of just like hearing like clothes being flung around the room, like he just kind of shoves out the father, like not in a like in the way that
respectful manner. Yeah,
like
just
in a way
like
like
come on, old man. Yeah,
yeah. In a way where
Let's
a
get you
parent
to bed,
knows
Grandpa.
the like the kid will be fine. Like he's not hurting it. It never ever would ever hurt.
No. It's not an abusive relationship. It's
no, not
care.
no.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but not from that end.
Yeah.
Have you had breakfast?
No, I would love something to eat.
Oh, yes. I just prepared. I prepared it for 2, but 3 is super easy. And a few moments later, you see them both kind of sitting at this very kind of meek and meager table with like a very simple, like cloth dress on, not cloth, tablecloth on it.
Yeah, tablecloth.
Yeah, table dress.
And, yeah, table dress, and it has like a very simple set around it. Nothing like what they would have at the manor, but it's just very simple parsonage stuff. And kind of there's 2 seats, one at either end, and then there's a third one that's kind of like it's like a
high chair.
Old man high chair.
It's a high chair. It's an old man high chair.
And he has a single boiled egg.
Yes. Yes.
And I have
It's like- it's
two
like
little
a-
spoons that I just kind of scoop out the innards of.
It's soft boiled.
It's like a
Yes.
it's like a quail's egg.
Yeah, it's like in the little little mount.
Those little holders.
I imagine Niles would go through the trouble of cutting out like toast soldiers for him to dip in the egg.
For sure. Yes. And they each have like different weapons. Like he's gotten really good at it.
Nice.
You know, I served in the war back in the day.
Yes, we know. We know. And he kind of like just puts his hand on Father Finish's hand and kind of taps it.
Forward, and he dips the soldier right in.
Yeah, there we go, General. Good job.
Georgiana is quiet. She smiles, and she's polite, and she kind of pokes at her food, but you'll catch her just kind of looking down at it and getting distant.
Oh my goodness. It's not that not the way you like eggs. I can do the
no,
fried,
This is lovely.
over easy,
No, this
poached,
this is
scrambled,
fantastic.
boiled,
I'm sorry.
hard boiled,
I'm so sorry.
soft boiled.
She puts out her hand and puts it on yours.
Huevos rancheros.
Raw. Nope.
No,
I knew when I
it's
said it.
Definitely not raw eggs. I really just don't have much of an appetite. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Are you ill?
I think I could use some fresh air. Would you like to take a turn about the garden with me?
Oh yes. Just one moment. And he kind of are you done, Father? And he kind of
Say
swoops
what?
up Father Phineas.
Oh.
He's fine. And he kind of brings him out to the back garden. That's again a very meek, like a very what's that term? Not mediocre, but very humble,
Meeker?
very humble, humble and
Humber.
Very humber. Humber and meager. That's the name of this chapter. Humber and meager.
Meagle and Humber.
Number.
I'll just say my little devotions with the squirrels, if that's okay.
Of course. Yes, sir. And he kind of like buckles him into a little rocking chair and kind of just sets it rocking. And,
Thank you, Miles.
yes, sir.
You've rocked me too fast.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I'm getting seasick, Miles.
I'll slow down. I'm sorry. I forgot.
When the door closes, or do you like walk away from the father?
As soon as he's at an appropriate rate, yes, we do walk away from the father. That is the eventual goal.
Was he calling you Miles with an M?
Yeah, it's just something he does. It's
It's a nickname.
a nickname that I'm not very fond of, but he's old. It's fine.
I see.
You're engaged.
Yes.
Congratulations again.
Yes.
You may not be able to hear me over all the noise of the party, so congratulations. How did that come about? How's it going?
She just stares at the ground. And then she covers her face with her hands.
Like in a annoyed way or like in a crying way?
Like in a maybe about to cry way.
Oh my gosh. Let's. Can I turns away from like where the crowd could see her crying? Because I imagine like
I thought
it's
they were
in town.
Oh,
Oh,
I was
they're-
thinking it was
they're
kind of out in
outside.
the country.
Yeah, you're out in the like by the
Oh,
parsonage,
that's-
I thought. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel
You're
like the
right.
parsonage is outside of town.
No, you're right. Yeah, so
Just barely.
kind of in a way that protects her honor, but like kind of away from like the public byway, I guess. Like
You're still in
there's
sight of the father. Like, he's just
Okay.
over there.
Yeah.
yeah. He's not paying
it's
attention.
like
He never
not
does.
In the
Can't
middle
hear
of nowhere,
anything.
you're just walking through the little field. There's a little copse of trees.
There's a little path just like around the
Okay.
parsonage. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
leads over
Then he
to
like
the
kind of puts his hand on her, like really concerned for a moment, but then realizes what he's done, and kind of like goes back where he's just like, kind of like very barely touching her shoulders with one with each hand. Like, are you? I'm so sorry. Did I offend you?
Niles would absolutely hover hand.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, it was-
Yeah.
She takes a deep
Gotta
breath.
leave room for the author.
She takes a deep breath, and she straightens up, and she says, "No, you didn't offend me at all. I'm just very stressed, and I don't know who to talk to. And I don't want to put all of this on you, because I already have put so much on you, Niles, and you're far too good. I don't know what to do.
No. You can talk to me. That's literally what I'm paid for. But
I don't,
but we're doing this as friends. You don't have to pay me.
you're my
I'm just-
friend.
it was a
I
joke.
don't want to treat you like you're just some faceless clergyman behind a booth for me to unload on. I'm sorry.
It's-
I shouldn't have come.
No. What are friends for? I will help in whatever way I can, as I've always done.
You have been such a dear friend to me, Niles. I don't know what to do. Your brother is wonderful, truly a generous and lively spirit. We were introduced by our friend Ephraim, and we clicked, and our businesses clicked, him being the heir to a textile fortune, and me with my fashion business. It just made sense.
He's like holding her hand like a little bit too hard now.
She's also
Like-
like squeezing your hand tight.
Yeah, like for sure. He's like not trying to be aggressive at all, obviously.
No.
Like, but it's very much like they're both like he's very stressed out by this and trying not to be like, oh,
But
is
then at that moment
so?
she squeezes even harder, so hard it hurts your hand. She's got a grip. She knows. And I just feel so guilty because the money is gone.
What?
It's gone. Well, it's not gone, but it's going to be. I have to. Oh no, it's gone. I had all these pre-orders for the summer line, my premier line of clothing, and it was going to set me up all this money, and the clothing is gone, and I don't even have enough from the pre-sales to make it all back up because it all burned to the ground, and I don't know what to do. I hate myself. I need your brother's money. And I'm such a selfish person.
No.
But my dreams are in ash, and I have people relying on me for these clothes. They've already paid me, and I've had to spend all that money just to clean this up, and I still don't have the clothes. The warehouse has been to the ground, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to tell your brother. I don't want to put this on him. I don't want him to think that it's just for the money, but I really need the money, and I'm a bad person.
No, not at all. He kind of like, I imagine that he probably like lets her lean onto his shoulder a little bit, like, oh no.
She does. She just like head thump into your shoulder and just starts to cry.
And he kind of like looks around to make sure no one's walking down the path, just because it's still in that period where any sort of like even like touching is kind of weird. It's like
You just hear the father in the background being like, "Wee."
He's doing his he's giving a homily to the squirrels and birds out there.
I was gonna say you look back and there's a raccoon just rocking him in the rocking chair.
Does Niles know about the money issues?
No, Niles does not. He knows about hers. He doesn't
Right,
know
but not
about.
Fred's. You know.
No,
Okay.
he
Freddie
kind
hasn't
of.
told anyone, has he?
Nuh-uh.
So how can I help?
I don't know. I just need the money to fix this mess, and I need to be a good fiance. I don't know what to do.
And, you love him, right?
I like him. And I need him. And that will have to be enough.
Huh.
I suppose what I need from you, Niles, is courage. I need my friend more than ever. Your mother's
well,
mean. Also, she was very rude to you last night, and I do not like that whatsoever.
Yeah.
That was unacceptable. I don't like that the father calls you Miles. That's not respectful. He's not that far gone. He can say your name properly.
I mean, he's pretty old. He's basically a potato at this point.
All right. But if anyone else in the parish calls you Miles, I will correct them.
Oh, that's very kind, but not necessary.
You're my friend.
Miles, Niles. I mean, they're right next to each other in the alphabet anyway. But yes. So what we
Milton,
can do...
I need some milk.
There's like a
Oh.
there's like a jock priest from the next town over that bullies him by calling him Miles.
Like a Minotaur priest.
Oh
who
my
just
gosh,
kinda like,
yes.
brother bro, like something like that, like something really like
Brother
over the
Weldon.
top.
Yeah, bro Weldon.
Don't call me father. Call me bro.
Okay. How can I give you courage?
I don't know. Just keep being you.
Well, if there's one thing I'm okay at being, it's that. But how about, to keep up your appearances, I can help you run some charities for the church or something where either we can help your thing make money. Obviously, we can't run a charity into you. That would be bad.
No, we can't.
No,
lie
never do that.
about-
But,
Something even worse.
no, that'd be very, very bad.
But perhaps I could give sewing lessons and for free, and use the work to create clothes. Oh,
If you need money,
no.
I keep $5 under my pillow.
thank you, Father. That's very generous.
How does he hear that? But what about this? We can say that as a philanthropic endeavor, you've come to town and you are offering sewing classes at a reduced rate because you are a high-end designer, and you can still charge, but just don't charge exorbitantly, and it'll still be a good deal, and you can get some money that way, and you look kind while doing it.
Yes, and you could help me spread the word at
Yes.
the at the temple meeting on Thursday.
Yes, and we can, in fact, maybe purchase some of the goods that your pupils make, and we
Yes.
could give them
Give
to the poor.
That would
Exactly,
be
yes.
Lovely, and helping other people. Niles, you're fantastic. Thank you.
Anytime.
My rocking chair stopped.
Coming, Father. She kind of like gives Niles a look and hurries that way.
You turn and the raccoon is just carrying him away. And
When Niles is by himself, he kind of just thinks like there. He sits there for a minute, and just kind of says, "She likes him. She likes him." Huh. Kind of shrugs to himself and walks away.
I have one more scene I'd like to propose, if that's okay. It'll be a short scene. But Frederick goes to the public house and asks the barkeep if they had seen that group of adventurers that came by, because he had invested, I believe, into their expedition and was hoping for some return on that.
Here's me being uneducated. Is the public house the same as like a tavern?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
So you head to the goat.
that's what pub is short for.
Yeah, the goat's head.
Yeah. How soon does he go there?
Like, literally after he had his meeting in the cave, and went to go see if Georgiana was there, and then he goes straight over to that public house to figure out, like, okay, I invested in these people, let's see if anything's come of it. If I can get my cut. I need cash.
When you arrive, you don't even have to talk to the owner because the party is there finishing their breakfast.
perfect.
My dear, wonderful adventurers, how wonderful it is to see you this morning. How has the expedition gone?
They all start talking at once.
Okay, no. Just the tall one.
Oh, go ahead. Start talking all
Oh,
at once.
the dwarf to kind of no, wait, the bard. The bard was a
Halfling?
halfling.
Yeah.
So the one not tall one begins going, well, we saw all sorts of things everywhere, and we sing a song about it. And it kind of just
dwarf
is
that
very
is
obnoxious.
also not tall.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we've got some side things that we want to handle first. Got some pelts to take to the tanner.
I turned into a squirrel. Like, they all just...
Lovely.
Thelka stands up and kind of like gestures for you to follow her away from the very noisy table.
Please.
Sly is in the corner of the table, just like making dagger sound effects as he swishes his dagger.
He's like doing like the knife between the fingers thing. He's like, and I got that one like this, thunk, and I got the other one like this, thunk.
So Thelka pulls you aside and says, we haven't actually made it into the ruins yet.
It's been like a week.
It's been a day.
It felt like a week.
The party was last night.
I know, but it felt... I don't...
I mean, it does kind of
How
feel like
fast
a
do
week to me,
adventurers
just because
move?
we've already been doing other things.
Yeah, that's more
but-
what I was wondering about, is because I heard that there were things happening with you guys.
Yeah, we went into the woods and encountered some wolves, and then they wanted to take their pelts to the tanner this morning to get money.
Good luck with him, by the way.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about
he's not
his
okay.
mental health. Do you have mental health professionals in this country?
Not my brother,
No.
I suppose.
Okay, so to the priest, got it. But no, we have yet to get any real treasure that they are going to want to give away. They just have
Okay.
some money now, which they spent
Oh my gosh,
on
can we do a
morning
counseling
booze.
session between
Yes, please.
Tanner and Niles at some point?
Yeah, that'll be a down
Yes.
the road. Yes, that'd be
Absolutely.
incredible.
But
Well,
we,
best
I'm
of luck.
hoping to get us back on track.
Yeah, it sounds like you have quite the handful with that group.
Yeah, it's tough being in charge of an adventuring party.
I can only imagine. It's tough being in charge of just me and sometimes the other people around in my family. I can't imagine dealing with those kinds of personalities all the time.
Yeah, you'd think you'd get used to it, but nope.
Well, if you happen to come across anything good, just let me know.
Yes, and
After-
thank you
And if you
for
require
all
more
the helpful
supplies,
things.
just say the word.
We have already used half the healing potions.
That's deeply unfortunate. I will have them send
After
some more.
After she says that, you hear the rogue with the doing the hand. Yeah, you hear the one doing the hand and knife thing. Just go, thunk, ow,
Curses.
and then the part just goes,
And you
okay, it happened again.
Yeah, you just hear the uncorking of a potion bottle.
Please, you don't need to drink the potions after every. They're really better for picking people back up when they. I've got to go.
I'll send
Thank
some
you so
first
much,
aid
Lord
kits.
Whittington. Thank you. She hurries back to the table.
And see.
Fantastic. And I think
That was
that's where we'll
amazing.
end this chapter.
Hey everybody, Cam here. Thanks for listening to Minions and Misfits. If you like what you heard, don't forget to check out our socials. The links are down in the description. And please, leave us a review on whatever app you use to listen to your podcast. It'll help us reach more people who can enjoy the episode that you just listened to. See you next time.